Welcome back to the Total Focus Podcast. I'm your host, Paul. Our guest this week is a former national title holder with the title of Ms. High School America. Kennedy Chase is on the show. We are so excited to have Kennedy on the show and talk about her amazing experiences being both the national title holder and then also holding several state titles as early as 10 years old, and her experiences in the pageant world and her experiences now being a director, pageant coach, and sideline reporter. This is someone is your daughter should look up to, and your daughter should definitely listen to this podcast episode to be motivated to be the best pageant contestant. So stay tuned. And welcome to the show.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm fine. How's Kennedy doing today?
I'm doing good, just staying home during this crazy quarantine with everything going on, but I'm doing well.
Well, are you a pajama person, or do you feel better getting up and dressed and being prepared like you're going out into the world?
Well, you know what? I don't keep my pajamas on, but I don't get dressed all fancy. I just put on a pair of sweatpants because normally I start my day with a workout and I just stay pretty comfortable throughout the day since I am doing online classes.
Well, seeing that we're in like a different environment for the short term, um, if you're starting your day at home doing a home workout, what's a home workout that is keeping you in pageant shape and just overall good fitness and health shape?
Well, I normally start my day with a good breakfast, so that's always key to just a healthy lifestyle. But then I also do a mid morning, early afternoon Pilates class. It's just on YouTube that I find. I just go and look up different Pilates 30-minute workouts, and it's good for your core, it's good for your legs. It's an overall good whole body workout. So I just do that, and it's not too tiring, but it's still something to wake me up and get my day started.
So I've always one of my friends had me purchase um the wrestler Dallas Page's yoga class and diamond yoga, and I never tried it out, but I guess it'd be a good opportunity to do so. Does yoga actually is it something that you like can lose weight at? Like, does your heart rate is it really do that much? I mean, to to
Um,
me as a
so
I just don't know that much about it. That's why it just is so fascinating about yoga.
well,
So
I personally I love yoga. It's a great way. So I used to be a dancer. I danced pretty much all of my life, all throughout high school. I went to a performing arts high school, and dance was my magnet there. It was my art. So every week we had a yoga class, and every week we had a Pilates class, and the other days we would, of course, have like ballet, modern, all of that. But yoga, it's really great for stretching and breathing. And especially during this crazy time, I know we were talking about the pandemic and everything and how it can be kind of stressful and you can get bad anxiety. Yoga is great for just meditation and stretching and breathing. You do feel it a little bit depending on what level yoga you're doing. Especially, I know there's hot yoga that can really help you shed some pounds if you want to do that. But yoga, it's not easy. I wouldn't say it's easy, especially what level you're at. But it's great for stretching and breathing and good for core work and everything like that.
well,
Yeah.
how did you start your journey? Were you a sports uh, or were you in the sports or dancing? You said you were in dance, but were you doing pageants as a young child as well? Like,
Oh, yes.
how did all of this start?
I started when I was very young. I didn't even really know what was going on. Like, I would say I started real pageants. I started with National American Miss when I was 5 years old. And my mom just put me in it. Actually, a friend from our church, her daughter competed in it and ended up winning the national title. And she was like, Kennedy, you should really try it. And my mom's like, okay, we'll put her in it. And I competed for the first time. I was 5 years old. I wore this little what is it called? A flower girl dress with some little slippers.
Oh,
And I just went out there. Yeah, I just went out there and just had the time of my life. And I won about every optional you could think of. And my mom's just like, okay, maybe we should stick to this, Kennedy. You're not too bad at it. And I just kept on going from then.
do you think you're a savant and you just are? It's just easy for you, or do you feel that you have to work at it, or do you think it's a mixture of both?
I definitely, so the older I become, the more I feel like I have to work at it, especially when it comes to mental preparation. It was never, I don't think, I feel like the on stage part was always easy for me since I grew up on a stage. Like I said, I've been dancing since I was about 4 years old. So being in front of people was never scary for me, and public speaking has never been scary for me. But it was always the mental preparation aspect that goes into pageantry and the interviewing. I always had to work hard with that just because I always wanted to be in my A game. I'm not saying I don't like to talk, but a pageant interview is different than a regular conversation with your friends. So I just feel like I always had to work hard when it comes to that. But modeling and being on stage was never something that was hard for me. That was always the really fun, easy part of pageantry for me.
How does dance incorporate into that? Is that started off right at the same time you're doing pageantry, or you found that as you got older?
Well, I started dancing when I was around 3 or 4, like really, really young. We weren't even thinking about pageantry yet. My mom says I started dancing um, when it was this after school program at my preschool that had free dance classes. And my mom just put me in that as something for me to do. And I just continued on with it from there. So and then we would do recitals and everything and be on stage. And the longer I did it, of course, the better you get because you're just years of grooming with dance. And I feel like being on stage and dancing and all those practices, it of course you get rhythm from that, and you need to have rhythm and able in order to walk. I personally believe that you need to have a little bit of rhythm in order to walk on beat when you model and everything. And just being in front of all those people on stage, it was just dance. I feel like really helped me with when it comes to showmanship and being on stage with pageantry. Now, I didn't get into pageants because of dance. I started dance way before I started competing in pageants.
So is
They were just my.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say pageants. A lady from a friend of ours from church told me to do it, and my mom just kind of threw me in it, and now I'm in it.
Is is dance more the passion now, or is that more the hobby and the pageantry is more the the passion or the hobby?
Well, right now, I don't dance anymore.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
It's just, yeah, I don't dance anymore. I'm a sophomore in college, and I'm focusing on my studies and my internship that I have at my school. So dance is really not in the picture as much anymore. Now I still love the art form. I still love going to ballets. I still love watching it, and I know all about it. So it's not like I don't like it anymore, but it just wasn't the path for me, wasn't what God was wanting me to do in life, but I still love it. Now pageantry, I feel like it's always going to be a part of my life no matter what. It's definitely a passion of mine. I've met so many incredible individuals through pageantry that have really shaped me to be the person I am today. I've learned so many incredible skills. I have gotten to do really some really cool things at such a young age that I know a lot of people can't say they've done. I've done lots of traveling because of pageantry. I've been exposed to so much, and I just know that that's just going to be a part of my life, probably for the rest of my life or for a long time, because it's really made a huge impact on me as a person.
So going back to that first pageant, you fell in love. What was your next step? Do you remember going and doing
So I was
another one, or did it take a while to get to the next pageant?
I think I just did NAM the next year, National American Miss the next year, and we just spent that whole year preparing for it and actually getting the proper wardrobe and getting the proper help. And because like I said, my mom just threw me in it. We had no idea what we were getting into.
And mom has
She
no
just kind of
experience prior to that.
Yeah, no, mom had no experience. She was not a pageant girl growing up. She was very involved in sports. So she just kind of threw me into pageants. I was like, we'll see what happens, literally. And I just went out there and was myself and had fun as a 5-year-old normally is, just goes out there and has fun on stage. And so the next year when I went back as a 6-year-old, I was definitely a lot more prepared. And yeah, I just waited a year until the next one.
Is mom one of those people that always wanted a crown and she likes to live her life through her amazing daughter?
You know what? She probably, I think so. She's very supportive, always super proud of me, wants me to be the best that I can be in not just pageantry, but just in life and anything. She's always been a great role model when it comes to commitment and just always striving to be extraordinary in everything and to just be the best that I can be no matter what. So
So what
I think she sometimes lives through me because she never did pageants growing up, but she was always super busy with sports anyway. But yeah, I don't, I can kind of see that.
mhm. Do you have the sports bug?
You know what? I was never in sports. I guess you could call dance. I think dance was a sport.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I think it's a sport.
You get as
Although
hurt as badly as you do
yeah,
playing. So
yes, for sure. I think dance was a sport. So that was my sport growing up, and I also cheered for 6 years.
that's definitely a sport.
For pee wee football. Like, yeah, I did a little bit of that when I was younger. So I was a little bit involved in sports, I guess. But now I'm actually getting involved in sports again at my school because I'm a sideline reporter for Alabama athletics. I go to the University of Alabama. And I'm a news media major or broadcast journalism, whatever you want to call it. And I intern with Crimson Tide Productions, and they're in charge of all the multimedia for Alabama athletics. So right now I'm on the on-air team for that, and I do sideline reporting for them. So it's kind of funny. I'm not in dance anymore, but I'm still involved in sports some type of way. I'm not necessarily in the sport, but I'm still involved in it.
Well, that's really exciting.
Hmm.
Did you see yourself being in front of the camera? Was that like the goal when you were a young child?
So when I was younger, I would always tell people I want to be an entertainer when I grow up because I love making people happy and entertaining people and dancing and all that. So that was my goal throughout most of my childhood, as I wanted to be an entertainer, whatever that meant. And then it switched to child psychologist because people would always ask me for advice and everything, and I love working with kids. And then I took a psychology class in college and I did not like it. Um, so yeah, I did not care for it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm glad I'm not a psychology major. So I love journalism though. I always had a niche for writing. I love that. And I love staying up to date with current events. I love asking people questions. And I've always loved politics as well. That's why I'm on a pre-law track right now. So I was like, a culmination of all of that seems to be journalism, broadcast journalism. I love being on camera. I love talking. I got that from pageantry, of course, my public speaking abilities and everything. So I just kind of put it all together. And then I just stumbled upon this internship because before I got this internship, I applied for this other job called the student recruitment team at my school, and we recruit for Alabama football. And surprisingly, I got that job. I was not expecting to get that, but I now recruit for the Alabama football team. And then with that, I just continued on the sports track and I applied for this internship and I got that. And I interviewed to be on the on air team. And now I'm a sideline reporter for Alabama's athletics. So it's all just whatever God wants for me, whatever path He wants for me. So I'm just kind of seeing what will be next in store.
Well, it sounds like you're on a really exciting track.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been really fun, really interesting. I've learned a lot and I'm having a lot of fun with it, like you said.
do you contribute a lot of your success to pageantry and being able to go out there and actually pursue what you want to do in life?
Oh, for sure. Pageantry has definitely given me all the tools I needed for a proper interview. Um, I know I would not be able to. I know I wouldn't be getting the jobs that I have now if I couldn't interview, because before I applied for these sports jobs, I knew nothing really about sports, like the terminology or just the rules sometimes, yet I know how to speak and I know how to carry myself, and that took me a long way. And I told the people, my employers, hey, I may not know that much about the sport right now, but I'm willing to learn. And they were always very happy to hear that. And I just know how to carry myself in an interview, and I know how to speak to people, and that's always taken me far, and I know that's because of pageantry.
Hey, anytime you're willing to learn and someone's willing to teach you, that sounds like a great situation. So take advantage
Right,
of
right.
that opportunity for sure.
Yes.
So going back to your younger years in pageantry, so how was your experience in NAM? Is it something that you look back on really positively? How did you do? Did you have any? Did you win any local titles or state titles?
So National American Miss, I it definitely taught me so much. I competed from the age of 5 to the age of 14. So I did it for 9 years. I just kept going back and going back. I eventually won when I was 14. I won Miss Ohio Junior Team for National American Miss. But every year I would go back and I would place in that top 5 every year at the state level pageant. And it definitely taught me persistence and commitment will get me to my goal. But I've met so many amazing people through National American Miss. The staff was always so warming and welcoming. So I definitely have always had a positive experience with the NAM, although I didn't win all the time, which was fine because it taught me that in life you're not going to get everything you want. That's just not how it is. It definitely humbled me a lot, which I really appreciate now growing up, is knowing what it means to be humbled and be in humility and everything. So I definitely owe that to National American Miss. But I've met some really incredible people throughout that system and throughout my years competing. So yeah, I've always had a positive experience with them.
How many years did you compete for them?
I competed, well, 8 years, but it was through 9 years. I took a year off.
Okay, so that was your primary pageant go to for a
Right.
while.
Yes, I would do it pretty much every year from the age of 5 to the age of 14.
So would you say that your primary source of knowledge that from the younger standpoint that you learned all your values and pageant knowledge from?
Yeah, sure. I could say that from when I was younger. My pageant knowledge, or whatever you're calling it, mindset definitely changed when I got older. And I started working with other people. But NAM, when I was younger, it definitely helped me a lot when it came to public speaking and interviewing for, as well as a 10-year-old can interview. Um, but yeah, it did definitely teach me my pageantry knowledge and mindset at a younger age.
Now, for our listeners that don't know that much about that system, does that system specifically have like separate categories like um, public speaking or in our interview style, like, or do they have like a high fashion, like or fun fashion?
So how National American Miss is set up is there's the main pageant for the girls that are competing for Miss Ohio, whatever the division is. Then there's also optionals that you can do, but what everyone has to do is evening gown, interview, and introduction. So introductions when you introduce yourself on stage, and that's about 30-ish seconds or less. I haven't done it in so long, I don't remember. But that's when I started learning at a young age how to public speak, and how to get comfortable with a microphone in my hand in front of a large audience. And then interview is pretty self-explanatory. You just interview with about 6 judges normally, one on one, and then evening gown is when you get to wear your pretty dress on stage and walk. And I always loved that part, even at a young age. I loved the dresses and walking on stage.
When you get to wear a beautiful dress, I mean, I don't know um, why it wouldn't. I'm sure that's just a great experience, especially when you're super young to have a beautiful dress and have people cheering for you. So I would hope that there would be a really good positive experience.
Yes, it was always super fun.
It, is that system particularly good for someone who's starting out? Would you
Oh,
recommend
for
that?
sure. Yes, I would. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's never done a pageant before and just wanted to feel it out and see what it's all about. It's a great starter pageant because the staff is just so nice and welcoming, and they're really there to help you throughout anything. And I feel like that's how they promote themselves too, as a starter pageant for people to really have never even thought about doing a pageant before, to go out there and just try it. I know plenty of my classmates throughout my high school years would always ask me, "Hey, Kennedy," because they would send out invitations in the mail to come do their pageant. And my friends would always ask me, "Hey, have you ever heard of National American Miss? Is this legit? What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I've done it before. It's great. You should definitely try it out." And I've known a lot of people that have ended up loving pageants because of NAM. So it's definitely a great starter pageant.
Well, you had said that you did well. So did you win a state title while
Yes,
competing?
I was Miss Ohio junior team
Well,
when I was
congratulations.
14. And thank you. Yep, it took me about 8 years, 8, 9 years to get there, but I eventually got there.
I mean, winning a state title is a really big achievement. So that shouldn't be something that you gloss over. I know we're going to talk about your other state titles, but the first one is always the best one, right? So,
Right, yeah.
so,
Well, actually, my very first state title I won when I was about 10 years old.
oh, well, I'm
I
so
was
sorry.
Miss Ohio pre. Oh no, it's okay. I didn't include this in my bio or anything, but I was 10 years old, and I won Miss Ohio preteen for Miss American Coed,
Oh, well,
and that
congratulations.
was
That's cool. I mean, not that many people have a
thanks.
a state title when you're 10 years old. So, whoop, whoop.
Thank you. Yeah, woo. That was really exciting. I was so excited because when you're 10 years old, you start to realize what's really going on. Because when I was younger, 5 and 6 years old, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just there because my mom told me to do it,
Kennedy,
and I was having fun.
you are so right. I have so many vivid memories at 10 and 12. Uh,
Yeah,
I, I, I you're, you're right. So,
yeah. So when I was 10 and I won, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so exciting! I'm Miss Ohio preteen." And that's when I really started to love pageantry because I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is what it feels like to actually win." And had all these cool appearances throughout my year and met some cool people and went to nationals and placed in the top 10. And that was really exciting. And
oh, so you really
it was an
buried the
overall fun
lead. On
experience.
top of it, you finished in the top 10. Well,
Yes, yes.
well, let's not just gloss over top. So you did really well. Well, see,
Yeah, I did the best that I could do, and I
you
made the
best
top
you
10 that
do.
year.
Okay, so you did really well. So, I, I you know, some people are just really um gifted at certain things, and it sounds like being on the stage and talking to people makes you really light up. I mean, I get the feeling. I mean, I can tell that you're smiling while we're talking. So,
I
I,
am.
yeah, I can just so do you feel that you bring like you make other people smile and you can bring that joy to other people just by having a conversation?
I would like to think that. I definitely like to make people happy and make people smile. Like I said, when I was younger, I always wanted to be an entertainer
Right.
because I like to make people happy. And that's just been my overall goal in life, is just to make as many people as I can that I meet just feel happy and welcomed. Because in this world, sometimes it can be just sad and just cold, especially with what's going on right now with the COVID-19 pandemic. It's just, you just want to make people happy, and to just to put a smile on someone else's face can really just change the mood of their whole day and make them have a better day, because you just never know what people are going through, and you just want to be kind to others and make people happy.
I just wanted to take 1 second from this great interview and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid Atlantic Video and Photography Productions. No matter if you're planning a wedding, a special event, or you just need an amazing headshot, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443-422-3830. Again, that's 443-422-3830. Or you can just go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to the show and listen to this great interview. What was the next step after competing in your what you call your starter pageant system? You did that for 8 years with a gap. You took your college gap year, so 9 years of competing. What was the next step? Did you take a break at that point and then focus on school more, or
So after I won National American Miss, I was 14. I crowned my successor when I was 15. So then while I was competing for National American Miss, in between those years, I competed in other pageants like Junior Miss Midwest Galaxy and Cinderella. I did pageants like that. I won Cinderella when I was about 12, I think. I was Miss Ohio Miss, or whatever they called it, Miss Ohio Cinderella Miss. It was such a long time ago. I won that when I was 12,
well,
and I
that's
won Miss Junior
cool.
Miss Midwest Galaxy when I was about 13.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout my experience with NAM, that wasn't the only pageant I was doing. I was doing
Okay.
other pageants in between. Um, but then after I won NAM, I started to switch over into the little bit more, not adult pageants, but more grown up, I guess, or mature pageants. That's when I started competing in Miss Ohio Teen USA and Miss
Competitive.
Teen.
Competitive.
Yes, more competitive pageants, I guess. Miss Ohio Teen USA. I competed when I was 16 for the first time, and I got fourth runner up, and I was not expecting that at all. So I was really excited about that. And then after I competed for Miss Ohio Teen USA for the first time, I competed in Miss Ohio High School, and I won Miss Ohio High School my first try when I was
Congratulations.
16. Thank you. And then I go on to Miss High School America, and I won Miss High School America when I was 16. And that was huge for me. That's really when my whole mindset on pageantry really just switched, and I became a little bit more mature in my thinking, and I really met some really awesome people throughout that whole experience and got great exposure. I traveled a ton, and that's really when a lot changed for me in pageantry is when I won Miss High School America.
So I've interviewed a lot of your colleagues that are past um, collegiate national title holders.
Oh,
So,
cool.
um, how do you describe that system, winning the high school title? What was that experience like? Because I know it compared to some of the other systems, still relatively new. Did you like the experience?
Oh,
Um,
I loved it. I loved every bit of the experience, all of Nationals week, because Nationals is a week long, and every day there's something new for us to do. And I won in San Antonio, Texas. So we were on the Riverwalk a lot, and I remember just meeting so many sweet girls throughout that whole experience. Everyone was so nice. The directors were so nice. We did something new every day. It was overall amazing experience, and I remember just having the time of my life that whole week. Sometimes I would forget I was at a pageant because I was having so much fun, and I was just meeting awesome people and just really being relaxed and living in the moment. And I feel like because I was living in the moment and not letting other people intimidate me or any distractions get to me, I feel like that's one of the reasons why I won, because I was just so relaxed and having fun and just being myself. Um, but yeah, it was an overall awesome experience. I definitely will recommend that to any girl, any pageant girl that wants to do something they've never done before. Like if they've never done High School America or Collegiate America or Miss Junior High School America, I would definitely recommend them to do it because it's just an overall fun experience. If you win or lose, it's just an awesome week. So
do you like how they subdivide the categories and make it into elementary, high school, collegiate? Is that something that's unique and is cool to you, and do you think it's something that's unique that adds value?
Yeah, I definitely, because since so every title is different. There's Miss Junior High School America that's more catered to junior high students. And there's Miss High School America and there's Miss Collegiate America, and then they have a new division, Miss Elementary America. So
Oh,
I think that's
great! They
really
did
cool.
finally add that. Awesome.
Yeah, they added that. That's new this year, Miss Elementary America. And I really think that's awesome because the national platform for the Miss High School America organization is brave. It's an anti-bullying campaign, and it stands for building respect and values for everyone. And it's really catered toward the classroom. So I think it's awesome how we are representing school, like how we're high school, collegiate, junior high, and then our platform is catered towards kids being bullied in schools. I always thought that was really awesome how that always correlated with us being representatives of our schools and then helping out our schools at the same time. So I thought it was really awesome that they could do that.
So is the initiative of that pageant to have you guys go in and talk to students and
Yes.
do those types of assemblies?
So the mission for the anti-bullying campaign is for us to go into different classroom settings, whether that be kindergartners or 12th graders, just to go in and speak to them and about anti-bullying really. Um, I know when I was Miss High School America, I would speak to kindergartners sometimes. I would speak to elementary students a lot. I would speak to junior high students a lot, just because middle school is when bullying really starts to get bad. So I just remember that's what my experience was like when I was a
Yes,
title
me
holder.
me too. I was middle school was horrible. So yep.
Yeah, and a lot of people face that bullying in middle school. So it was really my mission when I was Miss High School America or Miss Ohio High School for that matter, is to really try to reach out to those middle school classrooms because that's where bullying is really starts to get bad.
Do you have any suggestions for our younger listeners that may be going into middle school or currently in middle school? Do you have any suggestions to help them get through it or help them to stay safe if they're going through that?
Well, honestly, I would say if you're being bullied, I know you might think it's not cool, but tell an adult, tell someone because they could honestly help you get through it. I remember when I was being bullied in elementary school, I was I was so sad to go home every day, and I remember I would have to tell my parents. Eventually, I just told my parents, "Hey, this is what's happening at school. I don't know what to do." And then my parents went and told the principal, and the principal totally squashed the situation. They totally handled it. So I feel like what the issue is today is kids are just scared to tell an adult what's going on because they think that they're not going to do anything about it, or they think it's not cool, and that they're going to get bullied even more. And honestly, it's okay to tell an adult. It's okay to tell an adult. That's what I would tell them. That's the number one advice I would tell someone is if they're being bullied, just to tell an adult. But also remember that you're not alone. A lot of people think that they're alone in this, and you're not. You may think you're the only person being bullied, but no, there's other people out there, or there's people that will help you. There's people out there that will be there for you, that will stand up for you. It may not feel like that at times, but if you reach out to a friend that you feel won't go out and tell anyone your personal business, then go out and talk to them. You're not alone in this. Tell a parent, tell a friend. It really helps a lot when you don't feel like you're alone.
I mean, I can't think of better advice than that. Um,
Thank you.
I um, I wish there was more resources when I was younger, and it's so amazing that there are so many amazing people like yourself really
Thank you.
trying to fight the good fight and actually trying to get in front of it before it becomes um, an issue. You know, preventive care is
Right.
always better than dealing with the issue after it happens. So,
Right. Right. And that's what hundreds of girls across the country with the Miss High School America organization are doing is they're going into those classrooms and they're really trying to get across their anti-bullying campaign and how bullying is not okay. And if you are being bullied, go ahead and talk to someone because you're not alone.
I mean, I'm totally behind that campaign. So,
Great,
do you
thank
feel
you.
no, no? Do you feel that you definitely made an impact in your community?
I think I did. I did. It was really cool because Ohio has won Miss High School America one time before, but this it was the first time really coming back to. I'm from Dayton, Ohio, so my schools and surrounding schools were all really excited and impressed and had me in newspapers and different articles online, and they were all just really excited and accepting, and everyone wanted me to come to their schools and talk to their students, and girls were just so excited to talk to me, and they were like, "Thank you for coming and speaking to our classrooms." And it was an overall just awesome experience, and I really think my community, since they were so proud of me and so excited, that they were really willing to just open up and listen to what I had to say.
Well, Ohio is such a big state, so for you to be able to impact one of the larger communities in Ohio, I'm sure that personally that in made you feel happy.
It did. It was really exciting. And I remember one of my most favorite memories as Miss High School America. So I'm the first African American to ever win Miss High School America. So that was really exciting in itself. And I remember the next day when we were packing and getting ready to go home, I was getting so many messages on Instagram and Facebook from little black girls saying how, thank you so much. I can see myself doing pageants now, or you really paved the way for us, and I look up to you so much. And to this day, I still get a little teary eyed thinking about it because I didn't think about it in that way. So it was just great, not only bringing the Miss High School America title back to my city, but also being able to be a trailblazer or a pioneer for girls that look like me, and to actually want to go out there and do pageants because they think they can do it now.
Well, you brought it up, so I'm going to ask a hard question. Do you
Okay.
really happy that you finally see all the major titles held by African Americans, or do you think that should have happened a long time ago and it's something that's just now occurring?
You know, I love that it's happening now. Of course, I'm going to say it. I think it should have happened a long time
Of
ago,
course, understandable.
because I'm just a firm believer that whoever the best is should win, not because of others variables, but whoever the best is should win. And that this time around, it happened to be all girls of color. And of course, that's going to be really inspirational for people like me who eventually want to get to Miss USA and Miss Universe. Like, that's always been an ultimate goal of mine. So it was always just, it's been a huge inspiration to me, and I know to so many other girls around not just the United States but around the world. So yeah, I'm so happy that it's finally happening. Yes, I'm gonna say it should have happened a long time ago, but you know what? I'll take it now, and I'm really excited about it.
It's like all of the really talented um, women that didn't get an opportunity the generation before. Now it's like you guys have just popped out of nowhere and really are excelling, similar to how what happened when they opened the floodgates in Major League Baseball, and all of these absolutely amazingly talented professional athletes were finally able to play in the major leagues. Um,
Right.
I mean, is that how you feel like it's? Do you is that
Well,
too
yeah,
bold to say it that
for
way?
sure.
Am I stretching?
No, no, I get what you're saying. No, it's because at one point in time we weren't even allowed to compete. So
Or there
of
was a
course it's going to
bias
take
too?
time.
I mean, I felt there was
Yeah,
a bias too.
it's always been a bias. Yeah. Yeah, and there's also sometimes we would think if one wins this, then the other can't win this, and we never thought we could all just everyone there could we never thought that each title could have a girl of color. Like, I never ever in my life would have thought I could say Miss USA, Miss Universe, Miss Teen USA, and then Miss America were all African American women. Like, I just never thought that would ever happen.
Well, I'm so
But if it
happy.
were the other way around, it would that's normal the other way around. So I'm just really excited about it, really even more inspired and more motivated to go after my dreams, and I know a lot of girls are feeling that way.
Well, I'm so happy. Majority of the title holders are also so confident with themselves that they don't feel that they need to wear a wig. You know, they're willing to um, wear have their natural hair and and style.
Mhm.
You know, I always feel bad for all of my clients that have to conform to a style. Be proud with the hair you have. If you've got gorgeous curly black hair, or you have a beautiful afro, you should be
Mhm.
so proud of it. You know,
Right.
and to me, I was so happy to see that most of the girls that did win were going really natural. So,
Right.
was that something that you noticed too?
Yeah, of course I noticed the curly hair. Our current Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, they have beautiful, curly, long, voluptuous hair. So yeah, I definitely noticed that. But to me, your hair shouldn't determine if you win or not. But
Sure.
I'm really happy that these women are comfortable enough to rock their afro and curly hair. So yeah, it's just adding more to the reason as to why I feel more inspired and motivated to go after those titles that I never would have thought I would see all of them being African American.
And hey, you like you were saying, if it wasn't for you making the opportunity to go out there when you made your push, then perhaps there wouldn't have been anyone in America or USA. So you're definitely in that pool of changing people's perspective. So you should definitely be proud
Thanks.
of your role in that too.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still really proud of that and excited about it. So
To me, it sounds like it would be a great photo op to really get a 10-year class of title holders, because
well,
it's the last
we
10.
actually did that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for Miss High School America, they just had their 10-year anniversary last summer, and we had as many past Miss High School Americas come back and do like a big group photo op, and that was really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, because it's really important to show how you can break that glass window, and that glass window needs to be broken in so many categories. So it's
right.
you know, so you
Yes.
basically definitely, in my opinion, accomplished all your goals with collegiate. So, what was the next path? Where did you go from there? Because you can't win the title again. So,
Right. So after I won Miss High School America, I then competed for Miss Teen Ohio United States, and I won that. And I went to Miss Teen United States, and I made top 10 there. Um, so that's what I did after that. And but after Miss Teen United States, I've been taking a small break, focusing on school and my internship and everything. So, but yeah, Miss Teen United States was the last pageant I did.
did you only compete for it once, and you won it on the first go?
Yes, I won Miss Teen Ohio United States my
Wow.
first year.
Does that like give you such a vote of confidence that you're like on a stride, you're doing so well that you can come into a new system and just win it right off the bat?
Well, honestly, I definitely think Miss High School America gave me a huge boost of confidence because I did not think I was going to win that title, honestly. If I'm being completely honest with you, I was just going in and having fun and doing the best that I could do. And I went in with that type of mindset and I ended up winning. So I was like, hey, if that's the mindset that I need when I compete in pageants, then so be it. So when I competed for Miss Teen Ohio United States, I just went in with the mindset of I'm just going to do the best that I can. I'm going to have fun. And if it's meant for me, it's meant for me to have. So
Do you
that's what
think,
happened at Miss Teen Ohio.
yeah, that national title has made 10 times more or 100 times more impact in your life than anything else?
For sure, it definitely made the biggest impact on my life. Miss High School America did for sure. Because I had so many awesome experiences during that year, and I really grew as a person, and it was just an overall awesome experience.
Well, let's talk a little because you keep on talking about your national title. So what's the defining difference between that state title and that national title? Is there a way that people treat you differently? Do you feel that the general public gets that you're a national title holder and they get more excited, or um, I'm sure there are more opportunities. I think that's a given, but are there just more people that recognize who you are, and is that overwhelming because you're now the national title holder, where being a state title holder is great, but there's like such a next step.
So when I was Miss Ohio High School, of course, the state of Ohio was really excited for me, and I had a lot of people supporting me throughout my reign as Miss Ohio High School and supporting me going to nationals when I won Miss High School America. So then when I won Miss High School America, I was starting, like you said, to get recognized by more people across the country, not just in my state or in my city, which was really, really cool. I remember when so when I was Miss High School America, we just had junior high school and collegiate. We didn't have elementary yet. So there's three of us, and we went to Vegas quite frequently. Actually, I think I went to Vegas like 3 or 4 times that year. But one time we went, and I remember this very vividly. We were in the Venetian Hotel and Casino in Vegas and getting gelato or something like that. This is how much I remember. We were getting gelato, and we turn around and we have a crowd of people just taking pictures of us because we were wearing sashes that said Miss Junior High School America, Miss High School America, and Miss Collegiate America. So I thought that was really, really cool, because I know as Miss Ohio High School that never happened to me, but as Miss High School America that actually happened to us quite a bit. So just being able to travel across not just your state, but across the country, and people getting really excited about seeing you or recognizing you is definitely the defining difference between being a state title holder and a national title holder.
Do you ever get used to that, or is that still to this day uncomfortable to to be under that kind of limelight?
So I feel like it's just something that I've gotten used to, especially being in pageants from pretty much all of my life. You get stares. I always tell my mom before we go into a building, and I would have my crown and sash on, or just my sash on because I'm about to do an appearance, like a public building. I'm just like, okay, mom, get ready for people to stare at us because I know that's what's gonna happen. So getting stares and sometimes weird looks or sometimes excited looks, it's just always been something that I'm used to because it's been happening to me for such a long time. So by the time I was with High School America, I was already pretty used to getting the stares, so it was okay.
Is that something that you actually have to like prepare yourself like every time? It sounds like you have that like let's go to work kind of,
Yeah, for sure. The older I am and the more experience that I get with it, I don't have to really prepare myself as much. But like when I was Miss Ohio preteen, when I was 10 years old, and people were staring at me because I had a sash on and a crown, I was like, "What is going on? Oh my gosh!" People think I look scary or something, but I'm just like, "Oh, I forgot I have this sash on. This isn't normal." People don't walk around with crowns and sashes on. That's just not like a normal thing. So
I mean,
I just had to.
is that your perception that you think they're making fun of you?
When I was younger, I definitely thought that,
Oh,
because they're just like, "What is?" Yeah, but I was like, you know what? It's okay. I will get through it. But the older I got, of course, I didn't think everyone was making fun of me. The people just like to stare, and people stare at things that don't look normal in everyday life. Like you don't. That's not normal for a girl to walk around in a crown and sash in a public place like that.
well, I
So
also think
especially if you're like the only one, maybe if there's a pageant going on, then it's a little different. But if you're the only one walking into, say, a mall with a sash on, of course you're going to get stares. So
well, people are also very socially awkward, so they
Right,
probably don't have the confidence to just come up and say hello. You know,
right,
they
right.
barely
And
can come up and say and do a selfie with you. So
yeah, and we pageant girls, we appreciate that sometimes. Like when you ask, "Oh, what does your sash mean?" We Most of us get excited to tell you what it is and what organization we're representing.
so would it be your advice to just be polite and come up and say hello, even if it's a guy and ask a question, then like than just looking, staring at the sash or anything? Do you what's I guess what's worse or more awkward in your opinion?
I think what's more awkward is when you stare at me for the longest time and then don't say anything. If you're gonna stare, just come over and ask me, "Hey, why are you wearing that? Or what are you here for?" Instead of just staring at me, because then it's just awkward and I feel weird, and you probably feel weird too, and it's just an all over weird situation. But just come over and ask me, why are you wearing a sash, or what does your sash mean, or what organization are you representing?
Would that
We all, I feel like pageant girls just appreciate that more.
would that be the same advice for anyone who's interested in you and to just come over and say hello than to stare at you for 10 minutes? Or
Oh
send over
yes, I
or
just
send over
in
drink or
general,
just send over
yeah.
drink or just send over drinks.
Oh yeah, no, just come over and speak to me. I much rather prefer you come and speak and introduce yourself than to stare.
Okay, guys. So, FYI, girls think it's creepy when you stare at them. So, just say go over and say hello, okay? Um hey, I will fully admit, as the representative of the male population, we as men do very stupid things. So, um,
Yes.
we as the lone representative in this show, I will apologize for the male population.
No.
So, um, I don't want to skip over the United States pageant because I have a personal thing that I just love about it. Did you did you just love that experience? I personally love the crown. I rave about it all the time. Is it something that was a great experience for you? Because you had an awesome sash. I know the sash has changed several times, but your sash looks so
Right.
beautiful, and the crown has really hasn't changed in 10 years. So
Right. Miss Teen United States, it was definitely fun. I remember I did make a lot of friends at the national level pageant that I still keep in contact with to this day. So I thought that was really fun. Yes, the crown and sash, they're beautiful. I remember when I competed at nationals, they were switching national directors, so the look of the pageant was in the middle of a transition, kind of. So the winners, their crowns and sashes were a little different um, because they were switching directors. But overall, I had a really fun time. I met some really awesome people, like I always do at a pageant. That's why I love pageantry so much, because of the people you get to meet and the experiences that you get. So it was overall really fun. I had a great time. And it
um,
was in Orlando, which is also really fun. I love Florida, so it was fun.
like as they say, only one person can win the title, but you should be able to have 51 or 50 great girlfriends, so or friends out of it.
Right.
So I mean that should be the goal.
Right. Try to make as many friends as you can.
I just wanted to take one extra second and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid Atlantic Video and Photography Production. No matter if you're planning a wedding and you need a wedding videographer, you're doing a music video, or you're doing a commercial, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443 422 3830. Again, that's 443 422 3830. Or you can go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to this great interview. All right, so this is the part of the show where I let my lovely guest take over the show. So before we let you go, is there anything coming up or anything that's important that we didn't discuss that um, our viewers should know about you?
Okay, well, we discussed pretty much everything about me, my internship with my school, how my
This is
sideline
so cool.
reporter. Yeah, it's been a really, really fun experience. I've learned a lot about sports that I didn't know before, and a lot goes into a game that a lot of people just don't know about. As a regular viewer, you would not know everything that goes on behind the scenes of just one basketball game or one football game. So it's been really great learning experience. Um, and like I said, I am the co-director for Miss Ohio High School America. My mother is the director, and right now we're just getting the girls ready for Miss High School America coming up.
That's so
And I'm
exciting.
also
How did you
right,
yeah, how did you get into being a director? I've always thought that that would be such a great opportunity from a business perspective. If you run it the right way, you should be able to make a lot of money. But I'm sure that you have, you want to help people to be the next title holder, national title holder, and be successful just like you have. So I'm sure that there's lots
right.
of things that you want to do to just motivate the next generation.
Right. So my mom, she's the main director, and she wouldn't be the director if it weren't for me, honestly. So she's like, Kennedy, you should be my co-director, and you know a lot about this pageant system, probably more about it than I do, and we would really love your help. So I'm like, okay, I'll be the co-director, and I do as much as I can from Alabama since I go to school there, so it's a little hard sometimes, but I'm really there to just consult the girls. I actually have my own consulting business, Kennedy Chase Consulting, where we focus on mental preparation and interview before a pageant. I also would do a little walk coaching too, but I really do a lot of interview prep and mental prep with that. And it's been really great for the girls to get the knowledge from a prior national title holder. So it's been really fun experience. I've learned a lot, met a lot of great people, and it's been really fun. So being a co-director is it's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work, but anything worthwhile is going to be a lot of work. So
See, I commend people like yourself that have gone down the hardest route and won a national title, and then you're willing to then teach people how to do the same. That
right,
because teaching is the hardest thing to do,
it
and
is.
you're already so successful. You don't necessarily have to teach people, but you want to because you have such a passion. I very much commend you for wanting to do that, because you could easily just be like, I'm just going to cash in my success and not do any of the hard stuff. So I really, it just shows how big of a heart and how much you realize how much it's important to cultivate and grow that system.
Right. I just at the end of the day, I want every girl to just feel like they're at their highest potential. I want every girl to feel confident in themselves, and I just want girls to feel good about themselves. I know what it feels like to not feel good about yourself, and I remember people that helped me get through that, and I just want to share that knowledge with other girls, because not feeling confident and good with and happy about yourself is such a sad feeling. So I just want to spread that knowledge and love to other girls, and that's why I started my consulting business. Honestly, is because I want to help girls get in that right mind space before they enter a pageant, because it's really pageantry is all about the mental prep. Honestly, of course, it's about the physical prep and everything, like working out and getting the perfect dress and all of that. But if you're not mentally prepared, you're not going to be successful.
If it wasn't for that national title, do you think you wouldn't be on the projector that you would be? Do you think that you'd be still doing well, but that national title is just taking you to another level?
Yeah, like I said, that winning Miss High School America was just such a huge confidence booster. I definitely have a lot more confidence in myself because of that title and because of the experiences that I gained from it. And it's definitely put me on the path that I am today. So I'm a true believer that everything happens for a reason, and I won Miss High School America at the timing that I did for a reason. So it's definitely been a confidence booster at a time where I just did not feel that good about myself, and winning that title really made me feel a lot more confident in myself and my abilities. So
I mean,
it was definitely right on time.
yeah, well, the most important thing I keep on hearing you say is, I want it at the right time, at the right place. So,
Right.
do you think do you put it up as luck or fate, or you just really worked hard and, if you work hard, good things happen?
Yeah, I worked my butt off for Miss High School America. A lot of people don't know, but before I won Miss High School America, I watched pretty much every Miss High School America pageant before that on Pageant Live or whatever, however you live stream a pageant. I watched pretty much every Miss High School America national pageant before I even won, before I even got there, because that's how much I really wanted to be there and how much I wanted that title. So when I was given the opportunity, when I won Miss Ohio High School, I was like, oh my gosh, my time has come. I'm finally getting to go to Miss High School America. I have to work hard. And I worked my butt off for months before I got there. And then when I was there, I just all that preparation came full circle. I just had fun and did the best that I could do, and I ended up winning. So yeah.
The one thing that I keep on hearing that is the same thing consistently from all the national title holders that I've interviewed is that you guys all mention one thing. Can you guess what that one thing is?
Just had fun. Or
No, you
we
guys
watched the
all,
pageant years before.
yes, you guys all
Oh yeah.
watch all of the videos.
Oh
So there's
yeah,
got to be
yeah.
something there that that really hones in that. So is that video that crucial? Is it like a for a pitcher, to really watch the batters he's going to face, and is there some kind of insight? Because to me, it's just a past pageant, and the
Right.
judges changes. Is there something you saw, or I don't, or was it? Did you need that to visualize the stage, or?
It's honestly just a motivating factor. I think it's really motivational and really inspirational to watch the pageants before you do it. You can learn a lot that way too. But honestly, I just watched it because I loved what this organization stood for, and I loved all the different parts of it, like fun fashion, evening gown, and on stage question and interview. It was just everything that I loved to do. So I was like, I really want to watch it, and it's just really motivating. It really motivated me to want to compete in the pageant, and I feel like that's what happens. That's why a lot of pageant national title holders watch the pageants before they compete, so you just feel more motivated and inspired, and to actually visualize yourself on that stage.
I mean, to me, it sounds like it's just one of the parts of the pie that really make a successful competitive pageant contestant. So I find it so interesting to get some insight, and the more I talk to um, some of you guys that are so successful in this industry, it's very gives you so much insight. It's so interesting. So if there's not anything else, and sadly we're all locked in our houses,
I
I
know.
will let you back to whatever. Are you still doing schoolwork? Are
Yeah,
you
I'm
like,
online classes.
well, I'll let you get back to that. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I think this interview was absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you. And I hope you come back soon.
Yes, thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Kennedy, thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us so much insight. You're such an inspiration, and I'm so happy to had the opportunity to interview you and talk to you about all of your success, winning a state title at the age of 10, and then going on winning several state titles, and then winning a national title. Kudos to you. You are absolutely a bright sun in a dark day, and I can only see more and more great things for you, and I can only commend and I'm so happy for you, and I'm so blessed to have had the opportunity to interview you. I want to send out my prayers to all of my listeners and friends and family, and I want you guys to all know that we are praying for you guys every single day. Please stay safe. Wash your hands. Make sure you stay at least 6 feet away from people at all times. I'm recommending that you guys should always wear masks and gloves everywhere you go until we have a cure and a vaccine. And I'm praying for you guys. Make sure you take care of your family first. Family in this situation should always come first. Make sure that you take care of them and do not do something to jeopardize your family or hurt someone. Remember, your actions are directly impacting your family's future and life. So be proactive when they do let us out of quarantine. If this is up at a point where we're out of quarantine, then please listen to the guidelines. Make sure that you stay safe. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, and don't touch your face. That said, I'm so thankful for all of our listeners. Our episodes drop every Thursday afternoon. Please like us on YouTube and on iTunes. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Give us a comment. Also, don't forget, we also have our movie breakdown show called The Movie Breakdown with our co-host, Yvonne Carlos. So please let us know how you're enjoying our movie show. And we do not have a normal schedule with the movie show. We just release them at random times. So if you have a movie you would like us to review, just leave us a comment and we will do our best to make sure that it's on the list of movies to review. For that said, as always, please stay tuned.